This is an emergency alert. A state of emergency was just declared, and governors are now warning that quarantines are being put into place, quarantine zones are being established, and also backyard poultry registries are being set up right now. All right, this is happening right now in the United States. All right, I'm going to show you guys the form and everything. This is insane. They're asking people to register their backyard flocks, tell everything, how many chickens you have, if they're sick, everything. Everything. This is happening right now in the US, and it's being ordered by the government under a state of emergency. So let's get into the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all of this big breaking news. All right, so this is what's happening right now in Colorado. Colorado just declared an emergency, and they are saying that you have to register your backyard chickens. This is massive. This is big, and this is going to be the blueprint for the rest of the states. I can't even believe they're doing this, and it's concerning because they can do this anywhere. They can say there's a big outbreak here, and they just culled almost 2 million chickens. I mean, got rid of almost 2 million chickens at a single farm in Colorado. You can see here, Governor Polis verbally declares disaster emergency to support Colorado agriculture in response to avian flu outbreak in Weld County. Support, right? And the support is coming in the form of calling almost 2 million chickens, right, at a single facility, and the 1.78 million birds, right? And also a form of help is going to be in a chicken registry, right? So I want you to look at this really quick. This is the Colorado HPAI response for 2024 HPAI outbreak. Okay, and you can see here, Weld 11. This is what this control area is called. You can see quarantine area. A quarantine area has been set up outside of Denver, Colorado. Do you see this map? All right, quarantine area has been set up outside of Denver, Colorado right now. This is major. Control area, quarantine area. They are doing it. They are doing this, guys. On July 8th, 2024, samples submitted. Here we go. Got some samples. And I'm looking at dozens of chickens right here. I'm not out in the coop because it's almost 100 degrees every single day. It's brutal out. And it melts my brain when it's so hot I can barely think and talk straight. Right? So I like to sit in the car and watch the chicks. I have dozens of chicks over here, multiple coops, multiple breeds, laying them out, hatching them out, incubating them, all this stuff. We have so many eggs. My fridge is half filled with eggs. Like, we can't even keep up. We have so many, right? That's why we're going to start hatching them out and eating meat birds soon, eating them, right? So my chicks are fine. My chicks aren't going anywhere, and I'm not registering my chicks. I don't care what they say. I'm not filling out this form ever. But check this out. On July 8, 2024, samples submitted to the National Veterinary Services Laboratory tested positive for the HPAI, which is just the avian influenza, in a commercial egg-laying facility in Weld County. The state veterinarian issued new quarantine order in parts of Weld County to limit movement of birds in and out of the area. If you are a commercial or backyard poultry owner in the quarantine area, please report the status of your flock using an online form. And here is what the form looks like. Right? You can see here, this is a real form. This is a Google form from the Colorado Department of Agriculture Animal Health Division. It says poultry producer report form. And you saw that there. They even said backyard poultry owners as well. Backyard owners as well. It says poultry owners. Please fill out this form to report poultry on your premises, right? They're doing it, guys. They're making these chicken registries and making everyone sign up, and they might come to your house and take your birds and shove them in trash cans and trash bags. That's what they do. They come in hazmat suits and they put them all in trash bags and tie them up while they're alive and suffocate them. I know that's bad, but that's what happens. I don't know any other way to explain it for you, but that's literally what happens. So you can see here, they want your name, your number, your email, the address of your poultry, the mailing address, the total number of poultry. Look at all this. They're setting up chicken registries. I can't even believe that this is in the US. Species of poultry, chicken, duck, turkey, etc. Have any of these birds been sick? Have any birds died? Please explain any sick or dead birds, all right? And if you say yes to this, and you say, my bird was, I don't even know the symptoms for bird flu or anything. My chicks are fine. My chicks are all healthy. So I'm not worrying about it, right? And I'm not filling this form out no matter what. But you could say, oh, they're sick and they're having this. They might show up at your house the next day after you fill this form up and be like, these birds are sick and we need to take these birds. So do what you may. I'm just telling you me personally, I'm not going to fill out a form. Do whatever you want. I'm not telling you not to fill this out, okay? But they're telling people to fill it out. The Colorado state government is saying you need to fill this out. This is right outside of Denver, okay? The location of this is very suspicious, to say the least. And if this, all it takes is for some of these people to drag it into Denver, and then we have an outbreak in Denver or something along those lines. Okay, sorry, my internet's really slow right now. I can't get that page up. Okay, but they also just reported their 4th human case of this stuff in Colorado. Colorado just reported the 4th human case of this bird stuff in the entire country. And it was in Colorado, and then they do this and they cull almost 2 million birds, and now this is a real form. They're trying to register all the poultry owners in the state. All right, so please hit it up for me down there, guys, to help get this warning out. This needs to get out. This needs to be blasted out. People need to know what's going on in our country. All right, please just share these videos. I appreciate that, guys. And make sure you guys are doubling down and get some chickens right now. Right now, you need to get chickens. You need to be ready. You need to be prepared, because the eggs are already being squeezed. The price is already going up. We're already seeing gaps and shortages in some areas. Some restaurants are taking eggs off the menu. Okay. In Australia, I was reading McDonald's is not even serving breakfast right now because they can't get any eggs. Right? Because it's hitting Australia really bad too. Or they're saying it's hitting Australia. I don't know what's actually going on. Okay. And they're wiping out millions and millions of chicks there. And McDonald's is saying they're not serving breakfast because they need eggs. It's like the base of their breakfast. Okay, so get yourself some chickens now before it's too late, before you can't get any eggs, you can't get any meat. This is affecting the dairy. Everything's being affected. The entire food supply, they're trying to really control it and regulate it with this move. Right? They're trying to use this move as a power move to take over backyard flocks and backyard chickens, because it's pretty unregulated. It's like if there's no regulation saying you can't, then you can do whatever you want pretty much. Okay, as long as there's no county regulations or anything. But now they're trying to come in from the state health authorities and mandate all this. They've already done this in other states as well, like Florida and Michigan. They actually are requiring testing of this bird stuff for any chickens going in and out of the states, and also any cows going in and out of the state. They're forcing testing on this, all right? And something else I just remembered is that the governor of Colorado is wanting people to wear masks if they are working on these farms or if they are near the farms. He's saying people should be wearing masks again. And they're talking about mandating PPE, personal protective equipment, whatever you call it, for any farm workers, all right? And they're talking about dairy farm workers and chicken farm workers. So that's big too. That's a big step, mandating masks for them. And it seems like they're really going through with this. Okay, this is what happened before, is that it kind of started in a few states, and then it went nationwide. It became such a big thing. It's like all these states are doing it. Now the federal government's got to get in on it, all right? And the USDA actually already has implemented rulings on this, saying that dairy cattle moving between state to state have to have testing, right? Just for dairy cows. And then states like Michigan and Florida have their own testing requirements as well, and even for chickens going in and out of the states as well too. All right, but the USDA already issued a order on this a month or two ago, and I reported on it. So this is kind of a slow motion thing that's happening right now, but it's happening. Every day it's happening, and they are using this to shut down backyard flocks, shut down backyard chicken farmers, because they know it. That's like the base of the homestead, is garden and chickens. Right? Those are always the first things whenever I start a new homestead or establish a new homestead or whatever. We just got here 6 months ago, right? But I had chickens even when we were in our RV traveling around. I still had chickens in the back that I would take out, and I had a little tiny coop for them out in the forest, right, out in the woods. Wherever we were, I would just tuck them under the RV if it was too hot, and they just lived under there. Okay, so because I wanted to have chickens, I didn't want to get rid of my chickens. I had to leave. There was a whole situation going on 2020. You guys know what happened then, right? The housing, all the stuff that happened, right? And we had a housing crisis, so we had to go live in our RV. And we're like, screw it, we're just going to travel around the country for a few years. But I didn't want to get rid of my chickens. I had a homestead before then too, right? And I was like, I'm keeping my chickens. So we kept them all this time, and they were laying eggs for us even in the RV. All right, so there's no excuse. No excuse. If I could have them in the back of my truck and, moving their cage out onto the grass every single time we go to a new spot or whatever, and dealing with that and cleaning their little cage out and doing all that, then you can deal with it too. If you have a yard or whatever, you can do it. You can do it, right? Anyone can do it. Chickens are like the base of the homestead, and they're trying to take that away, right? And you remember a couple months ago too, they were saying that home gardening is bad for the planet. It's bad because it uses more whatever they were measuring it with. Okay, they're just saying it's worse for the planet than conventional agriculture. It's better. So, and I have nothing against conventional ag. I know these things are critical. I want to move away from it. I don't want to have GMOs and pesticide-ridden food. But I also know that we got to feed 300 plus million people, and it's not all going to be the best, highest quality food. We got to feed hundreds of millions of animals too. Right? So I understand that sometimes there's going to be lower quality alternatives. But what they were saying is that growing your own food in your backyard is worse than big conventional farming, big ag, right? So the narrative's being set that growing your own food, having your own chickens, all these things, it's bad. It's a risk. It's a health risk. It's bad for the environment. All these things. The narrative, they keep pushing it out. And countries like this, the Netherlands, They, just in the past year or two, they've bought out thousands and thousands of farmers, forced them off their land. Dairy cows and cattle ranchers, all right, dairy farms and cattle ranchers, they've been forcing them off their land, saying that the cows are bad for the environment too, saying there's too much nitrogen. There's too much nitrogen in the water runoff. All these things. They're always measuring. They measure the water runoff in the drainage ditches near the farms to see if there's too much or ammonium nitrate. Sorry, not nitrogen, ammonium from the cows, from their urine. Right? Ammonium nitrate. It has nitrogen in it. That's why I was mixing them up. But too much ammonium. They're measuring it in the ditch next to the farms. This is what they do in the Netherlands. I'm not joking. This is what they do. And they go and shut down the farm or fine them if there's too much ammonium nitrate in the runoff around their farms, right? And they've shut down thousands and thousands of dairy farms, cattle farms, millions of head of cattle, millions and millions of heads have been shut down, no longer exist, no longer operate. And even the prime ministers and things like this, members of parliament over there, say that farming is bad for the earth, it's bad for the planet. What do people eat then? What do people eat? It doesn't even make sense. These people are... There's an agenda. We know what they're doing, right? It makes sense if you think about it from their perspective, as they are anti-human. They're trying to shut things down and shut down farming, agriculture, this abundance that has allowed so many people to live and survive and prosper, right? 8 billion people on the earth. Whatever you think of that number happened because of agriculture and farming. Okay, it wouldn't have happened. And it kind of makes sense. They're shutting these things down. They're trying to shut it down. So maybe they're trying to shut the populations down, shut down population growth, and shrink this a little bit, right? Because when there's food, when there's excess, when there's abundance, there's more people. It just makes sense, right? So, and that's what we want. I have 3 kids. I'm not against, I love big families. I want to have more kids. I have 3 kids. We're a family of 5. I got a dog. I got dozens of chickens out here, right? But there is an agenda to shut down farming and shut down being able to grow your own food. And the only thing going to be available is this GMO, lab-grown, bioreactor junk that they are growing. And they actually approved, the FDA approved this last year, lab-grown chicken, right? And it's starting to be on the shelves in certain places in California, certain fancy high-end food stores and things like that. They already have lab-grown chicken going out on the shelves, okay? And they also are working on GMO chickens as well, where the entire chicken is genetically modified, right? You're used to like a GMO corn or something. Well, now the chicken is GMO, and it's resistant to this bird stuff. You can't even make this up. That's their one of their end goals here. And then every chicken you eat, every egg you eat comes from a genetically modified organism, animal, a GMO animal. It's not really a chicken anymore. The genetics have changed. It now has some kind of new DNA inside of it, and it's been altered. It is technically no longer a chicken. It's something new. That's how I view it, right? So thank you guys. Please hit it up for me down there to help get this warning out. People need to know about this. This is real. This just came out this week in Colorado. This week they're saying you got to register your chickens, and there's a quarantine area right outside of Denver, Colorado. So this could be like the start of a big thing here. They're kind of setting the stage here. Hopefully it's not. We need to say we don't want this, and people need to not do this. I'm not doing this. I don't live in Colorado, but I love Colorado. I love to say my hat's right here. It's from Colorado. All right, so I love Colorado. It's one of my favorite states, and I hate to see what's happening there. They're always doing some crazy stuff there that most of the people do not even want. Most of the people want to be left alone and want to live their life and be farmers, ranchers, ride their horse, climb some mountains, go skiing. That's what most people want to do. They just want to live a nice life there, and they're always doing something. They're always trying something. All right, so I love Colorado, and to my Coloradans, do not comply. Do not comply. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.